Hello, everyone, and welcome to a special episode of Brown Monday. It's been a while, so you know when it's going to be a Brown Monday one. It's fairly, I won't say fairly serious, but it's a bit more serious than what we normally do on Harami. So, yeah, we've got, like I said, an update from the main man, Riz himself. Riz, how you doing?
Yeah, not too bad. How are you boys? You all good?
Hopefully, I think we've all calmed down from Sunday, boys, have we?
What happened on Sunday?
I'm so lucky.
Was
What happened?
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
a
what
bit,
did
bit
happen?
of a, I know. Yeah, I think everything's fine. Good.
Yeah, I think we were all good, man.
We're all
But
one big happy family.
of course, man, of course, no doubt. Sorry, yeah, like I says, Riz, floor is yours. I know we wanted to do a bit of an update.
yeah. So yeah, I'll get stuck straight in basically. Long and simple of it. I had a good session earlier on this week with people that I've obviously been finding out what the state of play has been, and it's just been a normal, not much has changed for a long time, and that still very much is the case. However, there's no time limit. When I asked, I was told, could be end of the season, could be a year from now. And I'm thinking, what's going on? That obviously got me perked up thinking, what the hell do you mean a year from now?
So, Riz,
And
beforehand, sorry, because you'd heard something a couple of days ago, but I
yeah,
think even in your own self, you had to kind of register it, didn't you? You wanted to just
yeah.
before saying anything, going into, you wanted to
I just
actually
wanted
in your own
to,
head register it, and then have an actual another conversation, a proper conversation again, just to
yeah.
make sure what you heard was what you heard.
What I heard was what I heard, and I had a good like 25 minutes at the end of a work meeting and really got into it. And in the summary, Qatar basically are saying that they are confident that the words given to me is Sir Jim cannot compete. Yeah, so ignore the nonsense that you're hearing. This 25% doesn't commercially wash. They know them. They know the numbers. Obviously, they've been part of the due diligence. And as far as they're concerned, they cannot be competed with. The offer that they've put on the table cannot be matched by Sir Jim. Yeah. All the rest of what you're hearing is your nonsense British media, which is what we've been saying as well, right? Let them play their games. What they also told me is they're confident that no one else in their right mind would offer the money they've offered. And they know that the Glazers know they're not going to get another penny out of it. So they basically said to them, here's our money, take it. We're not withdrawing, take our money. It's up to you. And they know they've got the Glazers by the balls here because they have to sell at one point or another. And basically what they were saying is that why give the Glazers, for example, 500 million more? They can do, but why give them 500 million more? Whereas they know they can get it for the money that's on the table. It's just a poker game that's being played. And when they get it for the money that's already on the table, that 500 million could be spent, for example, on a world-class, state-of-the-art, brand spanking new training facility. Why put it into the Glazers' pockets? That's what they've literally told me. So they're confident their bid cannot be matched. Maybe, and they said this, maybe Saudi Arabia, MBS could come in, right? Who has the clout, who might have the audacity to offer a ridiculous bid that's better than the one they've got, which is not going to happen because of the Newcastle connection and everything they're doing with the football investments in their own country. And now with the 2034 World Cup going to Saudi Arabia as well, they're not going to do that. But no one else in the world, they're confident, can compete with the money on the table. So why should they bid? Why should we bid against ourselves? Was the comment. Why should we bid against ourselves? We want the club. We will get the club. And the Glazers know that they're not going to get a better offer on the table. And they're playing a game. And they've changed the goalposts so many times. The figure they initially had quoted. There was this image doing the rounds a week or two ago, which was Sheikh Jassim, somebody sending a screenshot of the city of the shares, has put in an offer for Man United. Do you remember that? Remember that was doing the round?
It's been withdrawn in red letters and things of that nature.
Yeah. Well, if you have a look at that, if you believe that for a minute, right? If you believe that for a minute, have a look at the date it said that the bid was submitted. I think it was 22nd of November 2022. Now, if that's to be believed, remember I said that the Qatar were peeved off because they felt a gentleman's agreement had gone back on by Qatar, and they opened it up to the Rain Group to go public. Remember? Well, not go public, but go with an auction, right? That they had a gentleman's agreement on with the Glazers, they changed their minds. They then changed their minds a second time and a third time. And each time, Qatar has been accommodating. All right, we want the club, here you go. And now when the Glazers are changing their mind again on the price, they're saying, you know what, you're having a joke. There's absolutely no chance you're going to get the money that's on the table right now from anybody else. And you know you're not going to get that. And I know you know you're not going to get that, right? So that's the standoff. And Qatar said they will wait as long as they need to wait. Absolutely 110% not withdrawn. Absolute nonsense. The words I'm quoting, I'm paraphrasing, absolute nonsense that they've withdrawn. Yeah. They are very much leading the race because no one can compete with the money they've got. So Jim can't, nobody can offer the money they're offering cash to the Glazers. Yeah. So their point of view now is they have to sell at some point, and they're not going to get a better offer on the table than we've got right now. So, you know, sooner or later they're going to have to sell, and they will wait as long as they need to wait because they'd rather put that 500 million into the club rather than the Glazers' pockets.
Yeah, yeah. Thanks for that, Rizal. I think you're right in what you're saying. That I think it was we'd seen them in Qatar on the World Cup. We saw Avram, mate. I think you watch more football games in that tournament. Stayed around longer than he's ever been to a Man United game.
Yeah.
How many Man United games he's seen? So you knew something was up. Obviously, like I said, even after the World Cup, he stayed behind. But I just want your take because I understand. Obviously, you've been in the, although you've been in the presence of Sheikh Jassim, I don't think you've ever really had much conversation. But what you do know people around him. And the reason why I'm asking you this
So
question is,
I know the people that have constructed the deal. There you
yeah,
go.
no, yeah, 100%. But I mean, even before this, before even any of this was on was ever going to happen, you'd have had some kind of dealings with him in the past and his people
Yeah.
in the past. So you've got to, you know people who know him who kind of know the way he works. And sorry, the reason why I'm bringing that up because I keep listening to people saying Sheikh Jesse messed up. He showed his hand too quick. He exactly, Riz. He showed his hand in respects to. He said, right, okay, I'm going to offer you this to the Glazers, and I'm also going to use this to clear the debt. And what people were saying was, oh yeah, because they saw the money that is going to clear the debt as well. The Glazers said, oh yeah, we're going to have that as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then I'm also hearing as well people saying, oh, Jim Ratcliffe's done a really good job of what he's doing. Yeah, he's outmaneuvered Sheikh Jassim because what he's
No,
done.
he's
He's
not.
changed. No,
He's
no,
not.
no, 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 no. I'm gonna get your thoughts on this in a moment. Sorry. What's also happened as well? He's outmaneuvered Sheikh Jassim. He wanted 69 to begin with. Then he's 51. Now 25. He's constructing his deal. He's outmaneuvering Sheikh Jassim to get the club, even with a long-term view. Now, I want to ask you, Riz, of all the things that you've known about him and heard about him and things, give me your view on
He's
that.
not going to lose. He's not going to lose, and he's not lost. He's already won because Sir Jim cannot offer the cash that's on the table. He can't. He simply can't. And I tell you what, I asked this actually. I said the scenario. Let's say you're talking about HBS. Let's say for argument's sake, because they won't share the numbers with me. That's one thing that's been very clear from day one with them. They're not sharing the numbers with me of to how much they have put on the table. That's not been. But for argument's sake, they're saying, let's say 5 billion is on the table cash, right? Or 6 billion for argument's sake. And let's say HBS comes in with 6.5, an unexpected figure comes in with 6.5.
When you're saying HBS, are you talking about SJR?
Sorry,
So
no.
Jim Ratcliffe.
MBS. Because
MBS,
the only
okay.
ones that can compete with them is Saudi Arabia, right?
Of
So let's
course,
say MBS comes in with 6.5 billion. Then these guys will go to 7 billion. But I know Sir Jim cannot do that And they were laughing at me, man, when I was saying, but what, there's 25% and all. And they literally, they called me an idiot. They said, look, use your own flipping brain. How does that 25% work? We conceive through it. We're sitting around. We're laughing at your British media that's got you guys wrapped around your little finger because it doesn't work. So Jim cannot compete with Qatar. Ignore the narrative of your media because they always have a narrative when it comes to Middle Eastern countries. They always have a narrative, particularly when it comes to Qatar. So choose them if you want to choose and believe them. But when the final deal happens, you will see the reality. And the reality is we can offer more, but we're not going to give these greedy cretins. They never said that. That's me saying it, but they used
Brown
the word
Monday
greedy.
version. Yep,
Yeah.
super, yeah.
They're not going to give them any more money. We're simply not going to give them any more money. If like the only scenario there would is if an unknown man or unexpected MBS comes in, then they'll go back onto the table. But there isn't an MBS man that's going to come in because no one's stupid enough to offer the money that Qatar have offered. And that's their word. And they know they've won. They know it. They know, and they know that the Glazers know they know. That's what they kept saying. You know what I mean? So it's just a final poker game. But if the Glazers dig in for another 6 months, these guys will sit ready until Glazers say, you know what, we give up. Here you go. So it could be as fast as next month. It could be a year if they keep digging around. But these guys are not going to, it's a poker game. Like I had said to you, before, it's a poker game now. And ignore the Sajim noise. That's not going to happen. Absolutely not going to happen. 100% guaranteed that is not going to happen. Absolutely at all, because he can't compete.
Yeah, I think on Saturday coming, that's going to be 3 weeks since that news broke that Sheikh Jassim's dropped out, and it's just a formality now to for it to happen. Obviously, we're still waiting.
Yeah.
So therein lies, and I think just touching upon what you said earlier about the British media, I saw when they were talking about he's going to take over the sporting part of the club. He really likes Erik ten Hag. He wanted him. Even he would have been his choice. He would have got him for Nice, but he's at Man United. So, but then I saw a report yesterday. Oh yeah, he's going to get rid of him. He's going to get rid of Erik ten Hag. So even the media itself can never make its mind up on what's happening.
And you know what he said to what one of the things that was actually said was that something we fans say all the time, actually, the Glazers are a world-class PR machine. And they said it. They said the PR. So anything you want the British media or the Western media to say, they will instigate it and get them to say it. They'll drop fake leaks out. They'll pay certain people, some very influential people, to say a certain story, right? These guys
Don't forget Riz. Don't forget Riz. Who's their PR person at Man United?
One sec, we'll come to that. But what he's saying to me, sorry, bro, what he said, what was said was they will use every tactic under the sun to try to win this poker game, but they're not gonna. And deep down, they know that they're not gonna get anywhere near their offer that's on the table right now. Certainly not from Sir Jim. But yeah, go on, Harps. Who's their PR machine? Go on.
Neil Ashton used to be at the Sun.
He used to, yeah.
And if you remember, yeah, I think Ed Woodward took him, and I think he's still at the club, helping the club with all the PR. And obviously, he's got some tight connections in the British media.
Yes.
So that kind of explains things. And Riz, just before we move on, because I know there's not much more we can say. I know you wanted to update us on this, so I appreciate that. But I just wanted to go back, just touch upon what I mentioned earlier about Sir Jim Ratcliffe, altering his bid, and Sheikh Jassim going for 100%. He's been outmaneuvered.
It's fake news.
Well, no, I was going to say, how you just said earlier, use your own brain.
Yeah.
If people think so, I think universally everybody accepts that Sheikh Jassim, even if he's backed by Qatar or even his own foundation with his own man, if you still don't know who HBJ is, so please go and have a look, okay? And you're worried about money and things like that, 9 billion credit, like we discussed a few podcasts gone. Do you think this guy, like you said, you use the word stupid money, and yes, it
Yeah,
is stupid money. But the reason why this guy wants to spend stupid money on 100% of the club
because he loves
is
the club.
it's his club.
It's his club. He loves the club. He's a Man United fan through and through. And there is some people that think a Man United man can only be from Manchester. Well, that's a, that I think that's a pod in its own right for another day, right?
Well, we've
But
already, even one of a couple of
yeah,
our early shows, we've already just
yeah.
shown this that isn't the case. But yeah, sorry.
I'll tell you something. I just want to say something. If Manchester United only had English fans, we wouldn't be one of the biggest football clubs in the world.
If they only had English fans, we wouldn't
I
be
think
here.
a lot of people think the world is Manchester or England or UK. The world is the globe, the big round thing. And some of you might think it's flat, but again, that's for another day. But the big round thing, that's the world. When you say one of the world's biggest clubs, is because you're famous all over the world. It means your foreign fans are making you what you are because they're much bigger than just the UK fans in terms of commercial input. Yeah, have a look at where United's commercial money comes from. Why do we get so much from TV? Why do we get? Because people all corners of the earth want to watch us. Yeah, we are that big. We are that brand. We are massive because of the world fans. And he's in the world somewhere, not from England, and he's a mad big
Studied
Man United fan.
studied in England as well. Don't forget.
Yeah,
So
and
he's
his
got.
dad's got a big objective of wanting Manchester. He wants Manchester Airport, 100% confirmed. They want Trafford Centre, 100% confirmed. The land around Old Trafford, all the way up to the Trafford Centre, they're going to develop the land around Trafford Centre. They want to buy and make it into one of the biggest malls and entertainment centres in the world. Manchester Airport, any of you that have had the unfortunate experience of ever having to go through there, is an absolute dump. It's an embarrassment, right? Compared to go to almost any Middle East airports. Go to Dubai's DXB, go to Qatar's, go to even Kuwait's is smaller, but just look at it in comparison. They're small. Now, if you bring that to Manchester Airport and you bring all the Qatari airlines that go all around the world, number one airline in the world. If you don't believe me, Google it. What's the number one airline in the world? Go to Google, people, type in number one airline, best ranked airline in the world, and a list will come up, a number of different pages, and you'll see what the number one airline is in the world. It's Qatar, because they fly everywhere, all over the show. And Manchester becomes the second hub after Doha, after they've bought it. You open up so many more corridors, so much more commercial opportunities. That's what HBJ wants. And people don't think this is just a football deal. Nah, this is a big, massive business. Manchester, the city of Manchester deal. That's what this is. Manchester Airport deal. That's what this is. One of the world's largest shopping malls and entertainment centers. That's what this is. You know, so if anyone thinks Sir Jim can compete with that, tell me where you're buying your hemp oil, boys and girls, because I'd like to try some of that.
Yeah, like I said, I just wanted to. How can I put it? Not so much clear it up, but just let people think what they're saying for a change. Do you know what I mean? You know, this person who, like I said, okay, even forget, you know, Sheikh Jassim. If you don't know nothing about him, again, we had it confirmed. I think even Aki's, you know, posted it previously again, recently, should I say? It's a joint bid with his dad, and again, we've been through the whole things with his dad and who he is and how he's connected. So people, please, you know, let's just.
Perhaps I think everyone, a lot of people underestimate HBJ, who he is, and what he can do.
Yeah,
And the people,
100%.
I just want to also add and address what people are saying, that the guy showed his hand too soon. That's by design. He's a fan first and foremost. Do you think as a fan, he likes the Glazers?
You know,
Yeah.
we've all been crying Glazers out, you know, 100% out and things like that. So you've got the one guy who's actually doing that, okay, who's actually getting rid of them. And yes, he could, you know, look, they've done what you call it, minority stakes in a lot of different businesses. You
Yeah.
know, so it's not foreign to Qatar. They don't always need to get the whole 100% of something. But
But there's a bigger
please,
thing. There's a bigger
yeah,
thing for them here. It's not just Manchester United.
no, I get that reason,
Yeah.
and I totally get that. Yeah, but okay, even if they needed to go, would do what do SJR's doing? Okay, they know that nothing changes until 100% of them go. So yes, they could go for a minority deal, just like Ratcliffe is. There's
Yeah, they
no
could.
issues in them doing that. Like I said, look through their portfolio. They can do that, but use your
100%.
brains, people. And why he's not doing that?
So let me just be categorical and matter of fact. SJR rumors are exactly that. The big fat lies. Fake news, as Donald Trump would say. Fake news, right? That's what it is. It's not true. Qatar know it's not true. Qatar know that the Glazers know that they now know that it's not true. And now they're saying, name me someone that's going to give you the money we're giving you, boys and girls. Because there's not going to be anyone in the world. And you must sell. You have no choice but to sell. Have you seen your own finances? Qatar didn't need to see what was published to the media last week. The finances, they didn't need to see that. They already know, because the due diligence, the black box as they called it, that they'd went through all the finances of the club, and they had the number one probably financial expert in the world in Shabazz that went through them. They know the state of play. They've quantified that the Glazers have to sell the club. It's impossible for them not to sell it, because if they don't, the club will end up in administration and go bankrupt. They have to sell, and they won't get anything then. They won't even get a penny. So they have to take the money on the table. So why should they offer them 500 million more just to speed it up? Here you go, 500 million, speed it up. Nah, we'll spend that 500 million on a world-class training facility. You know, we'll spend that 500 million on completely revamping the outside of the new stadium, Old Trafford. So, as a matter of fact, 100% not SJR, all rumours, all fake, all a PR spin by the Glazers. 100% Qatar have not walked away. 100% they're in the game. From the people that constructed their offer, yeah, 100% in the game, 100% confident at some point or another, Glazers have to sell and they will accept their bid, because there's nothing else that could be better that bid on the table. If that's next month, if that's 6 months, or if that's pre-season next season or the beginning of next season, these guys ain't walking away. They'll wait. Glazers have to fold. And that's it.
Yeah, thanks for that, Reed. So basically the message is, it's there, it's happening. We just don't know when. So please brace yourselves, because I think it's going to be a rocky road. And I don't want to go back. I don't want to talk about the pitch or anything like that at the moment in time. But what I do want to say, again, thanks, Reed. And I think what we've just been talking about, Manchester United is more than just Manchester or the UK. Big shout out to everybody who follows us and supports us and listens to us and gives us feedback. Just going on that theme there, India, I think after the UK, the people from India are our second biggest region of listeners.
Yep, second biggest audience.
So thank you for that. Like I said, that's what this podcast was always about, is reaching out to everybody to have a voice. So we really appreciate that. And it just goes to show the love everybody has for Manchester United. So it's not just the UK.
100%. Can I just add to that, Harps?
Of course.
Each and every single one of you in India, in South Africa, in South America, all of you guys tuning in, yeah? You are just as big a football fan of Manchester United that I am, and I'm born in Manchester, as any Manchester fan is, as any match-going fan is. Because you know what? I know you guys are awake at 2 a.m. and you got work in the morning, and you guys are tuning in to watch your team. You're just as big. So don't ever let anyone tell you you ain't a fan, because you are a fan. And that's why our podcast is here, is to represent the underrepresented, and that's you boys and girls out there.
Yeah, and just to piggyback on the back of that, I don't know if you guys have seen the image of the fan from the Manchester derby. He was there taking pictures. He had the hat, the scarf, he had a jumper, and he had
Yes. He was in the stand, wasn't he? The one who was standing in the stand, and somebody took a picture of him.
And so many people are ridiculing this man online, and it's tantamount to bullying. That's what
What's
it is.
that? What's that? Most of these fans that claim they're top Reds and we go to games, they're just a bunch of bullies. And I think we know,
Yeah.
you can see who they are.
So someone
it's not
told you what a
big
top
deal.
red is now.
I still don't know what a top Red is. God knows what one is, right? But I tell you what, all of you listeners out there, you're all top Reds. That's what I know.
Yeah, and I don't think there's no wrong or right way of supporting the club, and I think we've all got our own ways of doing things. But boys, 100% echo everything you just said there. I think Absol, I think we'd had a bit of a Q&A earlier, didn't we? On X, Twitter, whatever we want to call it. I think
Yeah,
we've got some
man.
questions. I think the boys are here to answer. Aki and Riz obviously here as well to answer some of these questions.
Well, first one I'll throw out to Aki because he was the one who sent out the tweet. And Aki, I want to know where you've been, bro, because someone told me you were riding around the town centre in a rickshaw.
On a
No,
rickshaw.
so yeah, so
Yeah.
everyone's like, where we been? Because I was a bit bored for like 10-15 minutes, just sat in the waiting room. And I just thought, you know what, I'll just do a quick Q&A because we were gonna do this pod anyway. And everyone's literally just dropping questions. Obviously, majority of them are Qatar. I think now Riz has mentioned answered more or less the questions. But yeah, if you want to get into the questions, more or less anyone can answer. Let's go for it.
So can we ask that first question then? Would you want a rickshaw around Manchester?
No, I was literally sat in a waiting room.
Fair enough. Just thought I'd clarify that one.
Can I
And
just
this
mention
one-
some as well?
go on.
Can I just mention some before we get into Q&A? So everyone's, well, obviously Harp's mentioned it. You've got one guy who's buying 100%. He's not even protested one single bit. All he's doing is just throwing money at him, stupid money. Sheikh Jassim, he's throwing stupid money at these Glazers who hasn't even protested one single bit. And it's just the finance side literally is what's going to make the Glazers sell, not these protests or anything like that. So if these top breads that basically want to say, oh, the protests have worked, no, they haven't. No, absolutely nothing. Nothing.
Yeah, no, I echo that. I think it is the running of the inept running of the club, and obviously, yeah, the money that's going to be
And I've
dangled
got a
in front
question
of
for
them.
Riz as well. So this is
Okay.
from at ASAP Glazers. Tim, shout out you. Riz, what are you spending the 40 grand on?
Oh, well, to be honest with you,
Or has he not paid up yet?
Ted has gone AWOL.
Like the Tyler, yeah?
Like the Tyler, yeah, he's got AWOL. Don't know where he is. Ted, if you can hear me, bro, I'll WhatsApp you my bank details, yeah?
You know, I'll do it as well. Just send half my way as well.
All right, cool. Right, let's have a look. Let's see what else we got. Because the thing is, like Aki said, a lot of them were about Qatar and Sheikh Jassim, and that's understandable with the current climate.
Ask them, we can answer them. Because if people have asked the
Okay,
questions,
cool.
let's just give it an answer, even if we think we've covered it.
Let's have a look. Oh, this is a good one. Can we expect massive changes, like what is being mentioned in terms of the SJR PR, if Qatar take over?
Yeah. So let me first start off by saying once again, SJR PR is nonsense and it's not true, and he will not be buying Manchester United. And yes, there will be significant cutthroat changes from what I'm understanding. Cutthroat changes. I don't know what, but yeah, cutthroat changes
Sounds good.
throughout the spine,
Okay.
that entire spine of the organization.
Yeah, top to bottom, like we said, got the club. It's rotten the whole way through. All right, here we go. Ooh, okay, this is a funny one. I'm gonna ask you. I'm gonna ask everyone this. Where do you think we will be in the table by the new year?
17th.
I think we'll be on
Aki?
the table. We'll be on the table somewhere. Go on, Aki.
I think, you know what? I think we might end up being in the bottom half. Bottom half.
I'm gonna go bottom half as well.
All right, I'm going to go top off.
Cool.
You do realize this performance stuff is a blessing in disguise for Qatar.
Well, this is it. I saw someone saying that I think it was you actually that said it, Aki, in the group, and you were like, obviously the Glazers were banking on Eric Ten Hag's success to effectively push the price up.
Yeah.
But the success, as we've seen for large parts of last season and for this season, it's not there. It's not happened.
You got any more, Absal?
Are we having a buffet after the announcement?
If Ted coughs up that 40 grand, yeah.
I actually replied to this one. I said, "Is it going to be prawn sandwiches?"
No.
But, do you think Qatar will be brave enough to remove some of the bottlers in the squad?
Who's the question by, Absal?
Oh, sorry. That one was, both of them were at Rennies, 89.
Yeah, big up to Remy's top guy.
Answer the question then,
Yeah.
Riz.
Yeah,
What was the question?
I think they will, but I think they'll bring a structure and the right person in the right role that will be empowered to do that and help the manager do what he needs to do with clear out and incoming.
Yep, sounds good to me. Final question. Have the gang reconciled?
I believe so. I believe so. Because if we wouldn't be back on the pod.
Exactly.
No, like I said, appreciate
It's like Harp said, man. If people had a sneak peek into our WhatsApp group, they'd think we've started fights every day.
Yep.
No, 100%. Guys, like I said, this one is always intentionally going to be a short one, podcast. But boys, just before we go, again, just on the YouTube as well, after the last podcast. So again, thanks everybody for supporting and listening to that. And like I said, we always appreciate your comments and your feedback on there as well. I just want to read a couple out. So this is from YouTube. This is from the Swing Agency Cyclopedia. He said,
That's Tunku.
Okay.
Yeah,
So he
Tunku
said,
on Twitter.
one thing that Riz says I agree with, hard work is the bare minimum. Okay. Ronak Joshi 5198. 2008, we lost 2-1, but we went for it. We won the league and the Champions League that season. It didn't affect the season. Canada Man 3. The evidence suggests that the so-called core players are the problem. They have buried the manager after manager. The owners ultimately hold the bag, though, because they won't sell marketable assets or pay the cost to correct their previous mistakes. And I just want to read last one. Nikki Cardigan. It says that was actually Kartik. I think it was just main chaos. I think that last podcast was so yeah, like I says, really appreciate everybody, for the love and support you give us. And like I said, we will always make time to obviously read any questions. So please send them our way. Obviously, I think like we said, I think Riz will always, or even Aki as well, will always give any updates like we have today in regards to Qatar as and when we do get them. But yeah.
Just one final reminder.
Yeah, I was going to say, yeah.
It's not SJR. It's a load of nonsense. He's not involved in any capacity. He can't compete with Qatar. He's not bought the club like 3 weeks ago was said it's imminent. He's not had the board meeting that 3 weeks ago said was happening on Thursday. The club have not discussed it in their board meeting, apart from the buffet scheduled meeting, that is, that the media had told you back then. Then some of the media have started backtracking. If he doesn't get sporting control, he will walk away. This is a graceful exit of Sir Jim Ratcliffe by his pals in the media. That's all it is. I promise you, Sir Jim will go nowhere near this club. And because Glazers have to sell it, and no one can compete with Qatar's offer. Inevitably, Qatar's going to buy it. When? Nobody knows. Could be soon, could be 6 months, could be 12 months. When will Glazers' pack of cards fold? That's the question. And it has to fold because there's no option of them staying. Because if you look at the state of the finances, if they continue the way they are, the club goes bankrupt, admin bankrupt, inevitably at some point. they get nothing. Simple. Just a final summary reminder. Relax. Ignore the SJR news because it's absolute BS.
Yeah, and on that note, I think there's nothing else we can say. More we can say. Glazers out.
100% Glazers out.